We are the Fourth. We are Southwest.
He is the captain, the consummate professional, leading by example, the unquestioned voice in the clubhouse. He is the entertainer, playing with an endless love for the game, dodging contact with his head, unable to control his legs, always having fun with teammates, often engaging in friendly conversation with rivals. He is a legend, universally respected around the major leagues. On his way toward Cooperstown, he personifies all that is great about our national pastime. He is Adrian Beltre.
Rangers baseball is presented by Shiner Light Blonde. It's light, done right. In the Bayou City tonight, middle game of this three-game series of Rangers and the Astros. Rangers had some fun last night. The captain himself very much in the middle of things yesterday. An 11-2 Rangers victory, hoping to make it 2 in a row tonight. Welcome in, everybody. Great to be with you tonight. I am Dave Raymond alongside the crafty lefty, CJ Nikowski. And as we get ready for this one, we would love to reflect on last night. 11-2, Rangers really made it look easy. They had a whole lot of fun as a group last night.
Yeah, they certainly did. And after a rough homestand, and especially the last 4 against the Oakland A's, this was good to see. You come into Houston, you know you're going to see some really good pitching, especially in the starting rotation and going up against Dallas Keuchel. We thought maybe that would be a challenge, but it turned out not so much. 11 runs for the Rangers offense yesterday. Everybody was really chipping in. 8 players with hits and runs scored. 7 of those guys had RBI. So it was just a really good night, especially for a lot of the young players in that Ranger lineup.
Yeah, including Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, a surprise start last night. He had 4 hits in the ball game yesterday. So the question now is, can they continue the fun tonight against Justin Verlander?
Well, another challenge here, as it always is when you come play the Astros, but Verlander has been pretty special ever since he's put on a Houston Astros uniform. So much impact last year in the regular season, and then again, of course, in the postseason. He's been very good against the Rangers so far. You see the 4 starts, the record, the ERA, all impressive, but what really jumps out, of course, is those 32 strikeouts. It's been amazing to watch Justin Verlander and watch the strikeout rate actually get better. He has been so good in an Astros uniform, so absolutely another challenge today, but maybe the Rangers will be up for it again.
Now, one of the more decorated pitchers, not just in the American League, but in baseball, in Justin Verlander, his mound opponent tonight, a guy making his 2nd start of the season. We're excited to take another look at Ariel Lorado. And in fact, Emily Jones decided we're putting him in the spotlight when we come back. Rangers baseball is sponsored by Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer during the Ford Summer Sales Event. Ford is the best in Texas. By Shiner Light Blonde. It's light, done right. And by Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency.
Ranger fans making their way into Minute Maid Park for Game 2 of this 3-game series between Texas and Houston as the Lone Star Series rolls on. It will be the second Major League start for one Ariel Jurado, who takes the place of Cole Hamels in this Rangers rotation. It is the second Major League start for Ariel. He made his first back in May, and we find it in our Shiner Light Blonde Spotlight, May 19th to be exact, against the Chicago White Sox. There you see the numbers: 4 2/3 innings pitched, 6 hits, 4 earned runs. Jeff Bannister said he wanted to get him out early before he had too bad of a taste in his mouth in his Major League debut. Wanted to get him out of that stressful situation. Since going back to AA, the numbers have been quite impressive. A 3-0 record, 1.59 ERA, 17 Ks to 3 walks with AA Frisco. That earned him the right to be back at the big league level, which he will be tonight. And his buddy Isaiah Kiner-Falefa will be back behind the plate to catch him. We've got the lineups and the first pitch coming your way from Houston next.
Just 22 years old, ready to make his second big league appearance tonight. Squares off against Justin Verlander. That's your pitching matchup tonight. And we are moments away from getting this one started. Let's take a look at our Southwest Airlines starting lineup for the Rangers. 43 wins, 62 losses. And Shin-Soo Choo will lead it off as the DH. Rougned Odor bats second, plays second. Elvis Andrus at short. Adrian Beltre at third base. Then it's Gallo and right. Ronald Guzman at first. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa catching. Calhoun and Carlos Tocci round things off at the bottom of the order. Justin Verlander making his 23rd start of the season, and he'll lead the Astros out of the dugout. 10 wins, 5 losses, and a 2.19 ERA.
We'll take a look at the pitch arsenal for the Astros right-hander, which is brought to you by Shiner Light Blonde. And for Justin Verlander, lots of usage with the fastball, 62% on the four-seamer. He does not throw a two-seam fastball. You see a slider 23% of the time. Curveball, very rarely will you see that changeup, but 86 strikeouts for Verlander this year on that four-seam fastball. That is the second most in Major League Baseball. And at 35 years old, that pitch is still averaging 95 miles per hour. So the defense behind Justin Verlander this afternoon is sponsored by Jack in the Box, and it'll be Kyle Tucker, George Springer, and Josh Reddick in the outfield. And in the infield for the Astros, J.D. Davis, Alex Bregman, Marwin Gonzalez, and Yuli Gurriel, and Max Stassi behind the plate. So still no Jose Altuve, and of course Carlos Correa is on the DL. I said this afternoon it's 6 o'clock, but it feels like it's the middle of the afternoon, doesn't it? Or is it just me?
No, it does. It feels a little early. There's something about that 1 hour difference. I agree. Everything accelerated in your day. I like it, though. I like it. Let's get after it. And, of course, the Rangers want to they would have played it probably 20 minutes after last night's game, the way things were going. They didn't want to stop after an 11-2 win over the Astros in the opener. Sellout crowd yesterday. Likely the same story again tonight. There's great rivalry inside the state of Texas. It started with interleague play, the battle for the silver boot. Now these two teams in the same division. With that win last night, the Rangers now all-time against the Astros, 52-36. So it has been certainly a series that has long favored the Texas Rangers, but recent history, that is to say the last year and a half now, very much is sided with Houston. Jeff Bannister, a little smile on his face after last night's win. And he'll be sending the rookie out there against this 35-year-old veteran in Justin Verlander. And Verlander, for all the great accomplishments in his career, may well be enjoying his best season yet. The guy who leads Major League Baseball in opponent's batting average, WHIP, which is walks and hits per innings pitched. Top of the American League in a number of other categories. It's been a very good year for him. And Chu trying to ambush and goes after that fastball, but comes up empty with strike one.
Now you bring up a good point. It is the highest strikeout rate for Justin Verlander this year, his best walk rate. It's incredible to see what he has done since he has left the Detroit Tigers. The numbers have been off the charts for him as an Astro.
Right back after two, and a breaking ball in there for a strike. 0-2. Chu hitting .285, 18 home runs, and second in the league with those 68 walks. His on base percentage .400. A little tight. So Verlander, his last start was against the Angels. It was a 7-0 Houston win. He went 6 shutout in the ball game, allowed 5 hits and a couple of walks, and he struck out 11. A little bit in. No, that's strike 3 called. David Rackley rings up 2. 1 away.
And probably a pretty good call. Tough pitch here, down and in. Watch Justin Verlander hit the glove, and that caught plenty of the plate at 96 miles per hour.
Terrible call. Not even close.
You know Chu would put up a fight.
That was a round number for Justin Verlander. Strikeout number 2,600 in his career. Oh, a big strikeout for him. And pours in strike one to Rougned Odor. He's 26th on the all-time list. And closing in on the Hall of Famer Tom Glavine. Certainly has the potential to catch him tonight. 0-2 the count. Odor, .256 average with 7 home runs. And if we've said it once, we've said it a million times. He's been swinging the bat a whole lot better lately. Last 14 starts, hitting .387. Two-strike pitch, and this one up the middle, and that one is through, base hit. So the Rangers have their first base runner of the night. Rugi aboard here in the first inning.
Justin Verlander started off with 2 really good fastballs to Rougned Odor, and then he goes to the breaking ball, but leaves it right in the middle of the plate, and Rugi is all over it as he drills it right back up the middle. And probably a pitch that Verlander wanted to bury. 0-2, you're usually thinking about going out of the zone, but he did not, and Odor made him pay.
That was just the second hit in Odor's career against Verlander in 24 at-bats. So A significant breakthrough for Rugi. He is on, and here is Elvis Andrus. Our WinStar World Casino and Resort. You can see Elvis Andrus a 341 average against Justin Verlander, and that is 4th best among active players.
Boy, Salvador Perez certainly has his number above 500, or excuse me, above 400, which is interesting. Perez is a free swinger. So Verlander over the course of his career has given him some opportunities, and Perez has taken advantage of it, as has Elvis Andrus. I mean, it's impressive when you think about the stuff that Justin Verlander continues to have, the live arm. Any hitter that gets it done against Verlander, that's certainly something worth noting.
So 1 ball, 1 strike. Ooh, a quick move over to first.
You got to be careful over there. Justin Verlander has picked off 3 runners this year. That's tied for 3rd in the American League, those 3 pickoffs.
Odor's been running the bases pretty well recently for the Rangers. In addition, 9 steals now. It's a decent lead. And he's running. And the pitch is off the plate. The throw is high. But they bring it down and they get Odor. Not a great throw, but a great leaping catch and tag in one motion to retire Odor.
Well, part of that is a quick release, and also Justin Verlander being quick to the plate. That's how you make up for that ball in the dirt. Take a look first at the tag, and there it is right on the helmet as Odor is clearly out, but Verlander with a little bit of a slide step and a really nice pick. I mean, that is as clean as it gets on the exchange. You see a slider in the dirt, especially as hard as Justin Verlander throws that pitch. Feel pretty good about a guy stealing a base.
So a 2-4 caught stealing, and the bases are empty.
Verlander was quick. I mean, that is incredible. You know, it's a skill without a doubt. There's also a little bit of luck involved as far as picking it that cleanly as a catcher and having that kind of exchange.
Verlander, meanwhile, the long look in, and Andrus shoots this one through the hole right side. That's a base hit. So a 10-game hitting streak now for Andrus. And boy, that caught stealing now a huge part of this inning.
Well, good to see here with the Rangers at least putting some good at-bats together. There's that high elevated fastball, and with the way that Elvis Andrus swings, it's not always a great pitch to him. He's quick. He knows how to get on top of that ball. And he does exactly that, even with the high velocity of Justin Verlander.
A runner on for Adrian Beltre. Verlander's first offering finds the inside corner. Beltre, how about multiple hits now in 3 straight games? See his numbers at the bottom of your screen against Verlander. Not too bad. A lot of experience against him. And it's been a good year for Adrian. Just a bit below 300 with the batting average. 3 more hits yesterday. And 8 for 14 recently. So things have been going pretty well for the veteran third baseman. Oh, and 2 on Beltre. Another good crowd here today, but fairly quiet here in the early going. Yesterday had better than 42,000 on hand, and they told us before the series that the games were likely to be sold out, all 3. The final 3 times this year that these 2 teams get together. Hard to believe division rivals wrap up a season series before the end of July. That is the case here. 1 and 2.
Verlander wanted it on the pitch. I don't think he was walking toward the dugout because he thought Adrian Beltre swung at that pitch. He believed that it was in the zone, and we'll take a look. I think Fox Tracks probably had it pretty close to being a strike, and it did.
Excellent call by David Rackley.
It's been interesting because he's called the edges so far. He's called a couple of fastballs that I thought were off the plate. So you're going to see at least that, but on the breaking ball, maybe not. We'll see.
2-2. Now hitters told me up and down they can adjust. Wider zone in and out makes it really hard.
No doubt. Much more difficult because it's more of the plate that you have to cover side to side, and you get a wide umpire, and it can end up being a really long game for these hitters.
Verlander and Stassi communicating, and now the 2-2 pitch, and there's a swing and a miss. Strike 3. Beltre, the second strikeout victim of the inning and game for Justin Verlander. So a scoreless top of the first. And now Ariel Jurado comes out to go to work. That's over, Adrian.
Now it's out.
A couple of hits off Verlander, and now here come the Astros, 67-38, a 5-game lead over Seattle in the division, and they'll lead it off with George Springer in center field. Alex Bregman at short, Josh Reddick in right field bats third. Then it's Gurriel, Gaddis, and Gonzalez, the 3 Gs in the middle. J.D. Davis, Max Stassi catching, and Kyle Tucker has the start in left field, batting ninth. All of that against Ariel Jurado, 22-year-old right-hander making his second big league start. And he pumps one right in there for a strike to George Springer. Saw Jurado a little bit earlier this year. And just misses in with that fastball there at 93 miles per hour. He pitched in Chicago against the White Sox on May 19th, went 4 2/3 innings in that one. A little bouncer foul. He looks like he's a quick worker.
He is, and those first couple of pitches I really like. You come out and go ahead and throw a strike to George Springer on the 4-seam. You got to be careful. We know George Springer with the leadoff home runs can be a little bit of an issue, but the last two-seam fastballs, and he's working him in with a little bit of movement at 93.
That one fouled way out of play. Stays 1-2 on Springer. Yeah, that little note there in yellow. 8 career leadoff home runs against the Rangers. One of those things that you almost don't have to be told. If you've watched the series between these two teams over the years, you know that he has pounced a few times. Jurado doing good battle with him here. Keeps the count 1-2. Springer in that leadoff spot again, but they've had to shuffle the rest of the order a little bit with Altuve out again tonight. 1-2. Did he go? The appeal, no, he did not. 2-2.
Good pitch, the slider here as Jurado tries to get Springer to go outside the zone. He does not. Good job by Springer to lay off of that pitch because it was a pretty good looking slider after fastball's in.
Another foul ball, so continues to work hard on Jurado.
And Jurado is a contact pitcher, so we've already seen some foul balls. We're seeing a little bit of a deep first at bat. Of course, not ideal. It's been 7 pitches so far, but this is what he does. Even at the minor league level, just a 5.1 strikeout per 9 rate, but he throws a lot of strikes. Just 1.5 walks per 9.
And a swing and a miss. So he strikes out Springer. 1 away.
Take a look at the fastball that is in here to Springer. You can see a bunch of them that were already there. That's nice. That looks really good. And that was at 94 miles per hour. So a good first at bat. You see Springer taking a huge hack there in a 2-2 count.
So Jurado, very nice start to this one. And goes to work against Alex Bregman. Bregman yesterday 0 for 3 with a walk. But that on-base streak you see there at 28 games, that's longest current streak in Major League Baseball. 2-0. Bregman with 21 home runs and 68 RBIs. An all-star for the first time in his career this year, and he was the All-Star Game MVP. And he pops this one up down that left field line, but foul. 2-1. Bregman had the go-ahead home run in the 10th inning in that All-Star game. Ended up an 8-6 win for the American League. Bouncer left side of the infield. His backhand stop. Good throw to first. Oh, nice pick over there by Guzman, and they get Bregman for out number 2.
Let's take a look at the pitch arsenal for Jurado, and it is sponsored by Shiner Light Blonde. And this is from his last start, but I think this is pretty indicative of what you will see. 60% two-seam fastballs. You'll see a curveball around 12%, the four-seamer, the slider, and the changeup. So it is a full repertoire. But what Jurado is all about is that two-seam fastball. We've seen a bunch of them already in this first inning with really good movement on them and pitching to contact. It's a really nice job against Alex Bregman, even though he fell behind in the count. And that'll give you a good indication of what the movement looks like. Bregman's a really good hitter, but even in a 2-1 count, hit a pretty weak ground ball on a fastball from Jurado.
Brings up Josh Reddick. 0 for 3 yesterday with a walk. Takes high. 3-0. Jurado wasting no time, but he has fallen behind a little bit here early. Got a strike out of Springer, ground out by Bregman. And there's the automatic strike, 3-1. Jurado in his 5th professional season after being signed by the Rangers as a non-drafted free agent out of Panama in 2012. And a comebacker. Nice snare. Little underhand, and he takes care of Reddick and the Astros in the bottom of the first. A 1-2-3 first inning for the rookie, Ariel Jurado. And would go to the second, no score. Budweiser, a legendary lager for legendary moments. Rangers fans, this Bud's for you. Moving on to the second inning. No score early on here. Rangers building a little something in the first. Couldn't get anything out of it. Here's Joey Gallo. Verlander jumps ahead 0-1. Gallo had the night off yesterday. 3 home runs, though, in the 6 games since the All-Star break. And he'll take a strike, 0-2 the count.
So this is kind of interesting, too. This time of day, right, we start an hour earlier. You were talking about the windows yesterday and how great it is that they bring in that natural light. But this is probably a little bit of a challenge for hitters. You know, the pitcher that is coming from light, you're standing there in the dark. I say in the dark, but in the shade. I wonder about that, how tough it is to see right now. Picking up spin, certainly one of those things that's difficult to do. I wonder why, if that's why we saw Verlander throw so many sliders in the first inning.
Skips that one up there, 1-2. It's hard to see from up here, right? I mean, when the ball's in play, even it's a little bit difficult to tell sometimes. So I'm sure it poses some challenges down there.
Especially, you know, Verlander's a guy who uses the fastball a bunch. We showed you that at 62% of the time. He only threw it 50% in the first inning. He went to the slider and the curveball a little bit more. And, you know, 62% is one number, but early on, I guarantee the fastball usage is generally higher.
Gets his 3rd strikeout of the night. Takes care of Gallo to begin the second inning.
Take a look at this breaking ball, and this is the curveball from Justin Verlander at 81 miles per hour. Pretty sharp break as he finished that pitch down and in. You know, we talk about this a lot with pitchers. You try to establish your fastball early, save those breaking pitches for a little bit later if you can. You try to get through the lineup, not exposing too many of those breaking balls to the Ranger hitters. But I just wonder, because it's a little bit tougher to see right now, if Verlander decided to maybe go to some breaking balls early. Or it could just be part of his homework on this Ranger offense.
1 strike pitch to Guzman, and he went up after that fastball. 0-2. Guzman, another good game yesterday. 1 for 5 with an RBI, scored a couple of runs. Today, absolutely killed it for the game. A dance off with Orbit, their mascot here. 1-2. He had the eyes of just about everybody in the stadium on him, and he was great.
He's practiced in front of his mirror a few times for sure. He's got some pretty good moves, and he finished it off with a split that just left Orbit stunned. He had no answer for it. He just had to take it and move on.
Verlander's 1-2, and it's inside. That'll even things up. So a couple of hits for the Rangers, 1 caught stealing, and Verlander, the other outs, all strikeouts. Just a little in, so full count. Didn't miss by a whole lot, but a good eye there by Guzman. So the rookie against the veteran here. And Verlander deals. There's a swing and a miss, so he couldn't lay off the high one. And Guzman, the 4th strikeout victim of the night. Let's take a moment here and hear from the good folks over at Southwest Kia.
At Southwest Kia, we've made car buying easy. $250 down delivers, monthly payments $250 a month or less. SouthwestKia.com.
2 gone, and here is Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. .263 average after a 4-hit night last night for Isaiah. He wasn't supposed to be in the lineup yesterday, but a late scratch of Ryan Rua led to Kiner-Falefa getting in there and made the most of it, to say the least.
It's the 3rd time Isaiah has had a 4-hit game this season as a rookie, which has been really impressive. He does a great job at putting the ball in play. Just the second Ranger in history as a rookie to have 4+ hits in 3 games.
Hits this ball well out to left field. It is gone into the Crawford boxes, and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa keeps that hot bat going. Rangers on top 1-0. And I dare say, a couple of Rangers fans here tonight making some noise too.
Without a doubt, there are more than just a couple here. And what a moment for Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Big smiles from Elvis Andrus and Rougned Odor. They were trying to go down and away with a slider. That one sat right in the middle, and you knew this was gone right off the bat. And Isaiah yesterday joked around with Emily Jones about the power he has shown here. 3 home runs now in this ballpark of the 4 that he has hit. He goes, well, it's just small, so it works out really well for me. I'm not a guy with a lot of power, but he certainly showed it there against Justin Verlander.
Now, he's had some good swings these first couple of games. So now Willie Calhoun, and it's 1-1. Calhoun has a home run off of Verlander. In fact, 2 for 2 against him in his career. The breaking ball swung on and missed. That goes back to last season for Calhoun with his call up late in the year last year with the Rangers. Willie 0 for 4 yesterday with a sac fly and 3 strikeouts. And he chases strike 3, so Verlander strikes out the side in the second inning, but the Rangers strike first tonight. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa with another blast, a 4-hit night yesterday, and he starts it off with a home run tonight, and the Rangers lead 1-0. Rangers the early 1-0 lead, and now back there to do the dirty work behind the plate. Dorado's first pitch to Yulieski Gurriel, a little bit in. Ariel Dorado, great in the first inning. Worked through Springer, Bregman, and Reddick in order. Falls behind Gurriel, however, 2-0. Gurriel usually up there hacking, and swings at this one, bounces it to shortstop. Andrus throws him out easily, 1 away.
Let's take a look at the home run that Isaiah Kiner-Falefa just hit with StatCast AI, which is powered by AWS. I mentioned that slider that hung in the middle of the plate. Well, Isaiah hit it 99 miles per hour and at a projected distance of 373 feet. So a nice moment for him, and 75% of the home runs that he has hit in his career have come here at Minute Maid Park. I'll tell you something, I really like what I've seen so far from Jurado. Behind in the count 2-0 to a good fastball hitter in Gurriel, and he gets him to hit a ground ball. Same thing with Alex Bregman, and so the sinker, the two-seam fastball, looks really good so far tonight. And it looks like, and I know this is one of those things that people probably get frustrated by because it's hard to back it up with a really good explanation, but it looks heavy. And you can tell by the swings and the way that it's coming in a little bit. And not all fastballs, you mentioned it earlier. We talked about this the other night, not created equal, even if they're 100 miles an hour. And for Jurado's 91 to 93 or even up to 94 that we've seen, appears to be coming in pretty heavy. And that's a good example of it there.
Weak ground ball to third base, and Gaddis is out. 2 up, 2 down here in the second inning.
Take a look at the Rangers defense this evening, which is delivered to you by New Braunfels Convention and Visitors Bureau. Willie Calhoun, Carlos Tocci, and Joey Gallo in the outfield for Jeff Bannister's club tonight. Adrian Beltre, Elvis Andrews, Rougned Odor, and Ronald Guzman in the infield with Isaiah Kiner-Falefa catching Jurado. He's throwing some bowling balls up there, man. I mean, he absolutely just smashed Evan Gaddis's bat into a handful of pieces.
Comebacker off Jurado. Karams toward Andrews, and he'll throw out Marwin Gonzalez. How about a 7-pitch inning? Is that good? Because that's what Jurado just turned in. We played 2. Rangers lead 1-0.
Was 1-0, and roster moves aplenty today as Ryan Rule was placed on the 10-day DL with back spasms. He, of course, missed last night's game. It started yesterday in batting practice in order to make room for Ariel Jurado. Brandon Mann was sent down in their place. Delano DeShields back up, and, of course, he will not get the start every day, as you can see. Carlos Tocci playing in center field today, but they will work him back into the fold. Of course, sent down to the minor leagues to get some kinks worked out with the change in plans with the injury to Rua. That accelerated things a little bit. He'll continue to work on things here at the big league level, guys.
In the meantime, Tocci has really handled himself quite well. In the absence of Delano DeShields, 2 more hits yesterday for Tocci, and the numbers during this little stretch really, 5 for 14 with 3 runs in the last 4 games. But in the second half of the season here, since the All-Star break, hitting .353, 6 for 17. Not too bad. Rolls this one up the middle. Gathered up by Bregman. He'll throw out Tocci. 1 away in the 3rd. So Verlander has amassed 5 strikeouts so far, but he has allowed the only run in the game, the home run by Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. And that's the first out that he has recorded in some way other than a strikeout or a caught stealing. And a great job of getting that first pitch in for a strike to Rangers hitters. We'll see if that forces him to be a little more aggressive on that first pitch as we advance. Chu was aggressive the first time up, right? Even after that first pitch, just as he did right here. I talked to Chu the other day about we had our broadcast about analytics and how he looks at things before a game. Yeah. Interesting, he looks at two numbers. Strikeout rate, walk rate.
Yep.
That's what he wants to know. Not where you pitch it, not what you throw necessarily. Those are fairly standard. And of course, he looks at those. This one rolled on the ground to the right side. Gonzalez throws him out. But he looks at those to decide, well, should I be a little more aggressive? Or should I let him work himself into bad spots? If he's, if he's got a tendency to walk a lot of guys, maybe I'll be a little more patient.
And those are certainly valuable numbers. I'm surprised that he wouldn't be a little bit more interested in maybe pitch tendencies. What does a guy do when he's behind in the count to left-handed hitters? Where does he like to go? Those kinds of things. Well, listen, whatever he's doing is working, and a lot of guys don't want a lot of information because they don't want to overthink it a little bit, looking for a couple of very simple things to focus on, and strikeout rate and walk rate certainly do make a lot of sense. I'd like to know, though, what's he trying to finish batters off with? Where is he going in 0-2, 1-2 counts? I think that'd probably be something of value to a hitter.
It was interesting because to that point, Odor rips that foul. To that point, he said that sometimes there's too much information, of course, but he showed me the scouting report that evening, and he said, look, here's the scouting report and what they do to lefties. But I'm different. He's like, and he showed me the report, a lot of stuff on the outer half of the plate, etc. He's like, everybody's coming in on me right now. It's like, so this really doesn't speak to how they're going to approach me tonight. I know they're coming in on me, even though the scouting report says they go away to lefties. So he felt like sometimes the scouting reports, information can be interesting, but a lot of times you have to consider that I'm not just an average lefty, or I'm not the typical guy that they've been facing lately.
I mean, you could take lefties in this Ranger lineup alone and talk about how different they are, say Joey Gallo to Rougned Odor to Guzman to Chu. I mean, there's something different about each of them and how you would probably want to pitch them and the tendencies that might be happening. And Chu's a guy that's shown opposite field power. We talked about that yesterday, his ability to slug on pitches away and slug the other way, where Joey Gallo, of course, more pull power. Rugi's been spraying the field pretty well as of late. That may change the way you throw a pitch in a certain situation. All those things certainly come into play. And so when you're looking at those scouting reports, a lot of times if you're talking about a pitcher, you should probably be saying things like, hey, to our pull power guys, he's been doing this. Change-ups away, two-seamers away, whatever it may be. To the contact guys that use the field a little bit better, he's been trying to do this. That's the information that could really have a lot of value.
Meanwhile, Rugi stays alive after fighting off that last fastball at 96 miles per hour. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Singled in the first inning. He'd previously been 1 for 23 against Verlander in his career. Now the two having a little trouble syncing up. Verlander was taking time earlier. Now Odor taking a little time. Here comes a 2-2. Another foul ball. Shift on the infield. 3 infielders on the right side. And Odor shoots it through the vacated left side. That's a base hit. His second of the game, and then it's bobbled by Tucker. Odor hits for 2, and he is in there with a double. Or a base hit and an error, as the case may be. Tucker, I'm not real sure what happened out there in left field for him. Indeed, a hit and an error.
A good job by Rougned Odor not to just mail it in and assume that this was going to be a base hit. First of all, great job on the at-bat and lining that ball to center field, and it appeared that Tucker picked up his set. Now, that ball did not go that far away from him. You see Rugi picking up on exactly what happened and beating the throw to second base.
So Verlander has not had a 1-2-3 inning yet. Rangers have a base runner here for Elvis Andrus. And Elvis has had a measure of success against Justin Verlander in his career, including a base hit in the first inning tonight. A 1-0 lead on Kiner Falefa's home run in the second inning. I almost would love to add to that. Now time asked for, granted. Verlander at times has had some long exchanges with Max Stassi, his catcher, just trying to come to terms with what to throw. And now Verlander steps off, so he and Stassi are going to have to get together. That'll be the first mound visit of the night.
Hey, so this is interesting here. Looks like some friendly conversation happening, but you remember a couple of years ago during the WBC. You remember?
Oh yeah.
Bregman tweeted something about Rougned Odor without naming him in it, but essentially called him out for not hustling in the WBC game. Quickly deleted it. Probably a smart play. Just kind of wonder about that stuff. If it resonates with guys, if they care. It was just kind of out of nowhere. He wasn't even involved in the game. He was just watching the game on TV, and essentially called out Rugi for not hustling on a ball that Rugi thought was a home run, ended up going off the top of the wall, and finished it off with the comment of "act like you've been there before." I was like, ooh, that's kind of strong.
I think that generally was the reaction to that one. This will be the 50th pitch of the night, and Verlander on the check swing. He did not go. Hunter Windelstadt down at first base. That Andrus laid off. So Verlander's really had to labor in these first few innings. Yesterday was Dallas Keuchel. Rangers got to him. Slow chopper, third base. J.D. Davis played well there last night, and it's a nice play to get Andrus here. The inning is done. Rangers leave a man. We played 2.5 though. Well, the Rangers lead 1-0. Remains quite interesting. Pittsburgh had been hot lately. St. Louis creating trouble for folks. Now we go to the bottom of the third inning here. And the 7, 8, 9 hitters coming up for the Astros. J.D. Davis took a strike. Taps that one foul. It's 0-2.
You see, that's a really good example again of the pitch that Gerardo is using well. Fastball that finishes in off the plate. We've seen a handful of these righties offer at it because when it comes out of his hand, it's a strike. And then the movement at the end brings it off the plate. You can always get in trouble if you leave it over the plate, but you leave it there. It's pretty tough to do damage, even if you're looking for it. Trying to keep a ball like that fair.
Gerardo just 22 years old. And his second game here in the big leagues, he had been pitching pretty well down at Frisco prior to his call up here. And it's this one on the ground down to first base. Good pick by Guzman, and Gerardo covering one away here in the third inning. So we'll take another moment to hear from our friends at Kia.
At Kia, get America's best value backed by a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
Six consecutive ground outs for Gerardo. Pretty nice after starting the game with a strikeout. And that one right in there for a strike to Max Stassi. Gerardo had 5 consecutive quality starts with the Rough Riders, a 2.10 ERA over that stretch prior to the call up. So he was pitching well. The opportunity presented itself, and a good opportunity for him here tonight against a very good team. And a chopper third base. Nice snare on a short hop by Beltre. That's 7 straight ground ball outs.
It's been fun to watch so far, and you take a look at Gerardo, and I mentioned how the ball feels like it's coming in heavy. I'm curious. I've always talked about this with guys that have the heavy sinker, and I have to go take a look, but you would expect actually that their spin rate would be lower to get kind of that heavy effect. And he's got the build of a sinker baller, and scouts will tell you that. You kind of look for that lower half, some thicker guys. And a lot of times that kind of body type can produce a good sinker, and it really does look the part, and he's got the fastball with the good movement for it so far. And I think what encourages you even more so, you look at his minor league numbers, and he's always thrown strikes. And that's a big one for a 22-year-old kid. So you look at the tools, will they play at the big league level, and the pitches, and then you also dig in and say, well, you know, how's he been around the zone? He's been excellent as far as throwing strikes out. One big league start coming into this one, and only being a Double-A, there's still certainly some thresholds that he'll have to cross. But I'm encouraged by what I've seen so far through 2 2/3.
Tucker with a bit of a defensive swing there. 1-2 the count. So
that's a right-handed version of Dallas Keuchel for me right now. That's what we're watching. And Dallas Keuchel, when he first came out, he's so heavy sinker.
Yeah.
Right. And got better and better once he really got it going. The command was unbelievable. I'm not trying to be hyperbolic, but I'm just saying when you look at the stuff and what he's done here so far, you can kind of get a feel for what the upside could be.
2-2. Tucker at 154 for the year, and hits this one in the air. Hanging up a little bit though. Tochi ranging to his right. And it's another 1-2-3 for Ariel Gerardo. Looking pretty sharp so far. We go to the 4th inning with the Rangers up 1-0. low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by Shiner Light Blonde. It's light done right. Well, a great beginning to this one. Rangers up 1-0. Adrian Beltre leading off the 4th inning, and he takes a strike. Beltre, Gallo, Guzman. Due against Justin Verlander. Veteran right-hander. Again, just long pauses between pitches. I didn't see any signs going down there by Stassi either. You know, it's like just decided to take a long time, I guess. So 0-2 the count.
It is another thing that Justin Verlander is doing at a career high rate. We mentioned the walks have been really good, best of his career. The strikeout rate, best of his career. Well, the pace, we'll call it the worst of his career because it is at 26.1, the slowest of any year that he has had. That means he is taking much longer between pitches.
Flare out into left field, base hit, and Beltre continues his hot ways. Single to start the 4th.
Take a look at this pitch, a little bit elevated, and even though it's up and in, and it looked like a part of, yeah, you can see it right there, a part of Beltre's bat broke. It's a good swing. That's why you work out strong enough to be able to muscle that ball into left field.
So the base runner now, Joey Gallo, and Gallo 0 for 1. Hits this ball hard out to right field. Reddick, though, is there, and he'll make the catch. Beltre has to return. So 1 away. Beltre, of course, been quite the conversation point lately. For more on that, let's check in with Emily Jones.
Yeah, as you can imagine, Adrian not overly joyed to talk about the trade rumors floating around involving him. He's actually not too overjoyed to talk about anything pertaining to him, but we forced him to do so today and asked him specifically about Atlanta because that seems to be where most of those rumblings are coming from. And in talking to him, I said, you know, specifically, how would you feel about that being reunited with Ron Washington? He commented on his love for Wash and then told me basically that that was too much information for me to have. And so that pretty much ended the discussion. He was not going to go any further than that, and obviously he doesn't know what's going to happen. Seems to be kind of prepared for things one way or the other, but should be interesting to see how the next 72 hours play out.
Without a doubt, he is such a professional, right? He doesn't want that conversation to go anywhere. He doesn't want to come across as even thinking about being somewhere else or referring to other coaches as people that he would like to play for, or teammates that he'd like to play with. And that's what makes Adrian Beltre such a pro. And of course he has those 10-5 rights, so he gets to decide if he's going to go anywhere at all. And from what we understand, no conversations have taken place yet between Adrian and the front office. At least that's what the insiders are saying, that he hasn't been approached with anything. And one of the other comments that I saw today was that, you know, if something were to happen, he would like it to be in a full-time role. He's not interested in going somewhere to kind of help out a little bit and be a part-timer as a team tries to make a run at the postseason.
Still a couple of days left before the trade deadline, and things definitely heating up all around Major League Baseball that way. More activity, more action. Of course, the Astros made a move last night, right as the game was concluding yesterday. We found out that Houston had made a deal with the Twins for right-hand reliever Ryan Presley. A.J. Hinch said today before the game he'd like to get Presley in the game. He told Presley that when he got here, just to introduce himself, say hello. Presley said, yeah, but what if Verlander goes 9?
Certainly something he is capable of doing. He's done it once already this year. 24 complete games over his career. Now the Rangers have done a really good job of working the pitch count up against Justin Verlander, who is a guy who's not afraid to throw some pitches in games. He has thrown as many as 122 this year, and in no start has he thrown less than 90.
He strikes out Guzman for a second time tonight. 2 away. Presley, 2 minor leaguers. I bumped into Jeff Luno this afternoon out in the hallway. I asked him, well, how much did you give up? He said, we give up 2 guys we liked. I mean, it didn't come without a little pain, but a guy who the Twins had used quite a bit, 51 games, and his 69 strikeouts, 3rd most among American League relievers. So he had been good for Minnesota. That's a nice arm to be able to add to that already pretty good bullpen.
It's like a young John Lester right there.
Yeah.
What's been crazy is how much his strikeout rate has jumped. Last year, he set a career high at 9 strikeouts per 9. That's really good. A strikeout per inning. The year before, he was at an even 8. This year, 13 strikeouts per 9. So in the last 2 years, he has seen a 5 strikeout per 9 jump. That is a huge jump, and that's part of the reason why the Astros were so interested. I think their first preference would be to get a lefty, but that hasn't happened, and so you kind of go for the best you can get your hands on, and this was a pickup that's looking like a really good one for them.
Kiner Falefa stays alive, a ball and 2 strikes. The star of our show, Isaiah Kiner Falefa, the home run of the 2nd inning after a huge night yesterday. Not backing down at all from former Cy Young Award winner, American League MVP, 7-time All-Star, and Justin Verlander. This one hit the other way, foul and out of play. So let's go back to the 2nd inning. No doubter. I mean, you knew the second he struck it.
Trying to throw that slider down and away. They left it over the middle of the plate, and Isaiah, a line drive hitter. That was a line drive home run. The one we saw last night from him was even more so and well struck. These are guys generally going to put the ball in play, even against Verlander. Obviously a great strikeout pitcher.
Little flare out toward right field. Could be trouble. Drops in. Base hit. Beltre has to hustle back to second. But Kiner Falefa with his 6th hit of the series already.
He does a great job of fighting this pitch off. I mentioned Justin Verlander so good at generating those swings and misses, and looked like another breaking ball, and it was, and they didn't get it exactly where they wanted it. You see Isaiah, that little pause in there, keep your hands back, still find a way to put the ball in play once he recognized the spin on that pitch, and Josh Reddick threw behind Adrian Beltre. This one kind of close.
Rude.
Kind of rude.
All right, Willie Calhoun takes a strike. Calhoun struck out in the 2nd inning. Spent the better part of the year with AAA Round Rock. Hit .306 at Round Rock with 8 home runs. Takes a little bit in here, but he was called up the first day of the 2nd half. And Calhoun, since coming up, joined the team. 192 average. So it was coming into today, but 8 strikeouts against 1 walk. Little roller left side of the infield. Bregman circles, has it, throws, not in time. He had to hesitate for a moment for that near collision with J.D. Davis, and it opened up a very tiny window for Calhoun to get in there, and he did.
The pause is what definitely caused this hit. Watch Bregman get around this ball, and it looked like, I thought for a second maybe he was thinking about throwing the ball to second, so it was more about what was happening in seam, and maybe a little bit on the exchange too, as you see some of that contact, and he just barely beats that out. Good hustle by Willie Calhoun. Let's see if the Rangers can cash that in.
Well, that's where you always run them out. Bases loaded, 2 away now for Carlos Tocci. Bouncer left side. Davis backs up. He'll go to second though. They force out Calhoun, and the inning is done. Rangers loaded him up but couldn't get anybody home. All right, 3.5 in the books. Rangers lead 1-0.
pitch well for the Rangers as he makes his second big league start. And interesting fact about Ariel and why he may even think this start is a little more special than his first is because Bartolo Colon is watching him. And when they did Players Weekend in Frisco, they do this in the major leagues where the guys get to put whatever they want on the back of their jerseys. Well, they did this in Frisco, and Arado decided to put Bartolito on the back of his jersey as kind of an homage to Bartolo Colon. He's, I think, channeling his inner Bartolo here tonight. I showed it to Pancho yesterday, and he said that's a pretty cool thing. He seemed very flattered, got a big smile on his face.
As he should. I mean, using the two-seam fastball, not quite the command that Bartolo Colon has, and not quite the movement either. Bartolo's got a really unbelievable two-seam fastball, and he can spot it up as good as anybody. But somewhat similar in the sense as far as the usage.
This ball hit well out to left field and gone. Springer absolutely hammered that thing. Solo home run ties this game at 1. Man.
Well, anytime George Springer can get his arms extended, he is capable of doing a pretty good amount of damage. And you're going to take a look, and you're going to see a slider that sat in the middle of the plate, trying to go down and away. It's a mistake pitch, and those are tough mistakes to get back when you're facing a hitter like George Springer.
Well, it's second time through the order for the Astros, and Springer perhaps learned a little something first time through. So a new game, and Bregman takes on the inside corner. 1-1 the count.
I think without a doubt, I mentioned the really good command and the walk rate for Arado over the course of his minor league career.
High pop-up, foul ground, and Beltre tucks it away for out number 1.
But I'm sure we will see from him, he's so young, where, you know, throwing balls over the middle of the plate, maybe not having command of the zone, but throwing too many strikes, certainly that could be an issue for any pitcher as he's kind of feeling his way through. But he did a really great job of bouncing back. There's going to be a lot of contact. That's the way that he works. You see Robinson Chirinos talking with Martin Perez and Bartolito.
Bartolito's on the mound. That's
is that Bardo Grande?
Yeah, Bardo Grande. I think that might...
But that'll be part of it. Where it's great. Listen, you can work with that. Getting guys in the strike zone can be a challenge for guys that don't have great command. But for guys that fill up the strike zone a lot, you can actually work on expanding, working the edges a little bit more, even off the plate. But you'd much rather start here with a guy that throws a lot of strikes. You can always work from there much easier.
Well, he goes 2-1 now on Josh Reddick, who hit a comebacker in the first inning. The ball really hit pretty solidly. A nice play by Arado. This one grounded to second base, and Reddick retired, 2 away. So we saw Arado back in May, and today, you know, getting the start, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa was slated to catch him. I thought, well, I wonder how much these guys have worked with one another. So I caught Kiner-Falefa this afternoon and asked him. He said, actually, yeah, I've caught him quite a bit. Last couple of years, he's only caught in the range of 30 games a year in the minor leagues. But he said, really, Arado, one of those guys consistently in there, is a guy that I had to catch. He did say, though, he's like, it was a different guy in the past. He's like, I've never caught him like he's throwing now. He's like, I watch now. I've gone back and looked at the film and watched how he's been throwing the ball. He says he's commanding everything, and he's in the zone. He's got great movement. But in the past, he said, you know, it would be running and tailing all over the place. And he'd just be scrambling back there to try and corral everything. So right now, he's throwing that stuff, but in the zone. And it should be a lot more fun, a lot more interesting. And how about that? He gets Gurriel. So after the leadoff home run, another 1-2-3 effort after that. And we head to the 5th inning, tied at 1. at 1. Shin-Soo Choo, third time through the order. He is our TXU Energy Power player to watch. 29 straight road games now that he has reached base safely. That is the longest active road streak in baseball. And he's put up some pretty good numbers. On base at 453, hitting 339, but some power there too with the 7 home runs. And he lifts this one high in the air out to left field. Tucker in a couple of steps, and that is out number 1. Well, Friday, August 3rd, Rangers and Orioles play a 7:05 game, and the first 15,000 fans are going to get an Eric Nadel 40th anniversary microphone, courtesy of Dr. Pepper and Kroger. And you can get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. There he is with his partner Matt Hicks on the right.
Hey, everybody's smart. There we are. Rudy's the batteries.
Ah, those boys.
So they even get our feet on the road?
Yeah.
They do?
Of course, yeah, absolutely.
I didn't know that.
Single to left. The batting average for the month of July now up over 340, the best on the clock.
340 in July. Where were you on that one, Dave? You didn't spit that out anywhere, did you?
No.
Were you listening? Eric's throwing out some good
I
stuff.
was watching a good game there. You kind of interrupted. If you quit talking, I could watch the game. Hang on, what was that, Eric? Hello, Dort. I think 340 in July. 3-0.
Not above stealing stuff. By the way, that is best on the club. 340 batting average this month.
2 for 2 so far today. Really turned things around against Verlander. Takes one down the middle. Interesting, they have J.D. Davis at third base, way up in on the grass. He's backed up maybe a stride now. And that is it on the left side of the infield. Remember last time, that's about where he shot it, right over where Davis is standing. This time he drills it high in the air, out to center field, going back on that to the wall, and it's off the fence. And that takes a big time bounce. Odor to third base. Beasley's waving him. Here comes a throw. Not in time. An inside the park home run for Rougned Odor. And the Rangers lead it 2-1. And a stunned George Springer trying to figure out what just happened.
Well, I think we made a mistake because the other night we said that the triple is probably the most exciting play in baseball, and Rougned Odor just showed us what is actually the most exciting play in baseball. First of all, he smokes this, and he thought he got it. You know, Rugi puts that head down a lot of times and thought this one was headed for the bullpen, but he watches it here, and George Springer almost makes a pretty incredible play. And there's a favorable bounce, and just watch Odor not slowing down at all, turning on the jets, and even finding an extra gear as he head first slides into home ahead of the tag.
That has to be a lot of fun. That really just has to be a hoot. Hitting it over the fence, pretty cool. But that was awesome. So the Rangers lead 2-1.
I'm slightly out of breath watching that.
Yeah.
He has got to be exhausted. It's a big exhale. And a good teammate, Martin Perez.
Yeah, my team looked pretty relaxed. Here you go, a little water. Want to stay hydrated here. Strike call to Andrews. 2-1. Well, back in the day, that ball would have been an adventure up on Towles Hill, or just to the right edge of it anyway. Would have made for an equally challenging play for George Springer. But it did take quite the carom off the wall. Well, it shot back almost directly against Springer's momentum going the other way toward the fence. And at that point, you knew it could get interesting. Another close strike, and it's a full count on Andrews.
I think for Rugi, most likely, the way the ball has been carrying at home, had he hit that same exact ball in Arlington, it's easily in the Ranger bullpen. One didn't carry quite as far as he thought, and so he had to work a little harder to get his home run.
Knocked down by the air conditioner. Bounce to third. Great play by Davis, but he throws it away and into the dugout. And so Andrus will be awarded second base. That'll be a hit. And then the subsequent error by Davis, accounting for him getting to second base.
Just talking last night about Davis and what a good defender is. He made a very nice play on this ball. You see the backhand. It was just a throw that cost him. Does a really good job of getting up, spinning, quick release. The throw was just offline. I'm not sure they would have had Elvis anyway if it was a perfect throw.
So he's in scoring position for Adrian Beltre. Adrian takes a strike. Adrian with a hit already tonight. Multiple hits in each of the last 3 games. He's been locked in. Way out in front of that one. 1-2 the count.
Pretty good contact against Justin Verlander so far. You see him up to 83 pitches through 4 1/3. He had a rough one against the Tigers a couple of starts ago. I say a rough one. It was a strange one. First time he ever pitched against the Tigers. Obviously, he hasn't been gone very long from the club that drafted him and the one he spent 12 years on. 6 innings, punched out 12, but he got up 4 home runs in that game. And that's not the Tigers, the good version of the Tigers that he played on, right? With Miguel Cabrera and JD Martinez and others. That was 2 starts ago. They roughed him up. This last one was much better. The Rangers doing a really nice job here against Verlander so far. I know it's only 2 runs, but some really good swings and some hard contact.
Down to dirt, 1-2. So a quarter of the home runs that he has allowed this year been in that one game against his former club.
I wonder what those emotions were like for Verlander in that spot. Like the craziness of last year, the decision to accept the trade to Houston with mere seconds to go.
The 1-2. Beltre lifts it high in the air. Short right field, and Reddick gets there to put it away. 2 gone. Door with the inside the park home run. Delino DeShields did it last September. It's the last Rangers inside the park home run.
Did Gomez do it too last year? Or I just make that up.
Gallo did it last year.
Gallo.
I don't remember if Gomez did it.
He hit for the cycle.
Oh, hit for the cycle.
Second time in his career. As he reminded us as he scored.
As he left the batter's box on that home run. It was awesome.
Didn't fare as well as a pitcher.
Oh,
the other night. Was that yesterday?
Yeah, yesterday. A couple of balks. What, he threw like 9 straight balls too? I mean, he really scuffled.
He did not get an out. Allowed 4 earned runs. It was 3 walks. There was multiple balks in there, as you mentioned. Were you the one that told me this, or somebody else that said maybe the first time in history where you might see the pitcher charge the hitter?
No, that was not me. That would be awesome, though. Perfect. Gallo 0 for 2. He struck out and he is lined out. The last ball he hit, that line out to right field, he just missed getting enough backspin on it. In fact, might have had a little overspin. Verlander, meanwhile, look at the workload tonight. Hasn't had a breezy inning yet.
He certainly hasn't, and that's a good job by the Rangers to continue to make him work. No inning under 16 pitches so far this season. That has been his average. He's actually averaging 15.8 pitches per inning. He hasn't been able to do anything close to that so far tonight.
Gallo stays right in there and waits. Andrus at second base, a run in the inning. The 3-0. Gallo swings and misses. He was one to put that one into orbit.
I love the green light there for Joey Gallo, especially when you're going against such a tough pitcher like Verlander. Talk about this a lot. Will that be the best pitch he'll get the rest of this at bat? If you like it, you see it good out of his hand, go ahead and take a monster hack, and he did.
Takes a strike at 3-1. It's a full count. 96 miles per hour there from Verlander. Interestingly, that gets the fans into it. 2-1, Rangers lead. And that's high, ball 4. So a walk to Gallo, who continues to string together good at bats and get on base via the walk. And there are 2 men aboard. All right, let's take a look at our progressive upcoming schedule. Tomorrow, we'll wrap up this series, a 1:10 first pitch tomorrow. Pregame at 12:30 here at Fox Sports Southwest. Then it's off to the desert. 2 night games in Arizona, Monday and Tuesday night, before enjoying an off day. And a breaking ball from Verlander. That one in there for a strike to Ronald Guzman. Couple of strikeouts tonight for Guzman. But this will be the 25th pitch of the inning for Justin Verlander. And this swing and a miss. 0-2. Gallo with that walk, by the way, has walked in 7 straight games. Just evidence, I feel, that he's seeing the ball better and having a consistently better approach at the plate. Verlander's 0-2. Guzman stays alive. Verlander struck out 5 of the first 2 innings, has just 1 strikeout since, and it was Guzman in the 4th inning. So the longest, toughest inning of the night for Verlander so far here in the 5th inning. And it has him approaching 100 pitches. This will be his 96th offering. And another foul ball. Now, I think you could argue that it hasn't been Verlander's best tonight. He's allowed 9 hits. But what he has done really well, I think from the Astros' point of view, is he's minimized the damage in terms of runs. He's only allowed the 2 runs. Rangers so far have stranded 6, with 2 more out there at the moment.
It certainly could have been worse for Verlander, and hopefully, as I mentioned, the Rangers find a way maybe to cash at least one of these in.
Go high, and it's 1-2.
But regardless, the pitch count is what matters right now for Justin Verlander. We're going to see pitch number 98 here in the 5th inning, and so that certainly means that he'll be out of the game a little bit quicker. And it looks like there's some scrambling going on in that Astros bullpen as they get concerned about the pitch count.
Andrus and Gallo out there, and now Stassi running out to the mound.
Quick one, but it does count as a mound visit. Second one of the evening for the Astros.
Now who's counting? Aside from everyone.
Yeah. I think, if you're going to go out there now, you might as well go ahead and hang out for a while. The quick one of like, hey, second sign, right? Like that, you have those meetings sometime or whatever. Hang out now. I mean, it counts.
I agree. There you see the pitch count situation for Verlander.
He's a horseman. He has been over the course of his career. Last pitcher to ever throw 250 innings. It was 2011. We probably will never see that again.
One, two, and he gets Guzman swinging. We'll have to throw it down to first base. The inning is done. But the Rangers retake the lead. How about Rougned Odor? Put on the track shoes. A line drive out to center field. And it starts to sprinting. And inside the park, home run for Odor. And it's 2-1 Rangers. It's light, done right. Odor with the inside the park home run. It's given the Rangers the 2-1 lead now as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning. Jared Sandler, our good buddy, with another inside the park home run note. And there are a number of them out there. There's the first pitch off the plate, ball 1 to Evan Gattis. Jared pointing out that the last Rangers inside the park homer here in this ballpark, David Murphy. Well, Murph did it May of 2012, and he did it against Lucas Harrell, of course, who ended up pitching with the Rangers.
Never tried to search inside the park home runs before. I'm trying to think
how you would do that.
Best place to do it. I don't know if Baseball Reference offers that. Or
no, I think there might simply be an entry in the Rangers media guide.
Oh,
because that was a 28th all time in Rangers history. That's the type of thing that you just log on a sheet of paper and keep track of it in the rare instance that it happens. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Evan Gattis. You know, way back in the day, home runs were basically all inside the park home runs.
It's true.
Yeah, you go way back to the beginning of our game's history. This ball lined to third and caught by Adrian Beltre, 1 away. When they started putting fences up in ballparks, if you hit a home run, or what we now consider a home run, over the fence, it was a foul ball. It didn't count as anything. It was a foul ball.
That's like when you play kickball in a small field somewhere, or like in a parking lot in grade school. If you hit it over the fence because it's so close, sometimes we just even call it an out. That's interesting.
Marwin Gonzalez, and he will take one right at the bottom of the zone for a strike.
So home run hitters were somewhat despised, so we consider a home run hitter. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Stop hitting the ball over the fence.
Oh, it was certainly not encouraged.
And especially then they were playing with like a dirty sock. I mean, you probably took some power to do it.
Yeah.
Let's put some masking tape on that thing, and here we go.
1-1 pitch. Dorado runs it in.
It's a nice first out for Gerardo. And you say, okay, well, the guy hit the ball really hard, and Gattis, crushed it. But Adrian's right there. You get that first one after your club comes back out and takes the lead again. That's certainly encouraging. And there's something we haven't seen very often, the changeup from Verado, and one that he didn't use very much in his last start either. But he's got the good two-seam fastball, mixing in that changeup once in a while, especially to left-handed hitters, something that could be very valuable. Look at this.
Swing and a miss, strike 3, and he gets Marwin Gonzalez second strikeout of the night. And he got some bad swings from Marwin Gonzalez in that at bat.
It's a really good job. After the changeup away, they go to the slider down and in. That back foot slider, it starts out as a strike and finishes below the zone. That is perfectly executed, and Gonzalez swinging right over the top and looking a little bit lost in that at bat.
So J.D. Davis swinging to the first pitch, looks this one high in the air out to right center field, and Tochi takes control, and it's another 1-2-3 for Ariel Verado, an 11-pitch inning. We go to the 6th inning with the Rangers up by 1. Isaiah kind of Falefa to lead off this 6th inning. Will Harris coming in out of the bullpen. Verlander 99 pitches. He's done.
69 strikes in that outing as Will Harris takes over game number 44 for the right-hander. You can't let Verlander face Isaiah Kiner-Falefa again after he homered off him and got that base hit. Obviously had him rattled, so Verlander no opportunity to win this one. He's sitting at 198 career wins, by the way. 199 not coming this evening.
Well, Kiner-Falefa, the home run, the single. Harris puts that one right in there for a strike. This one kind of giving me a little bit of the Max Scherzer, Austin Bibbins Dirks feel that we had last year in Washington. The way Verado has been outstanding, only 60 pitches through 5 innings.
Is that all he has?
Yeah.
He's been kind of cruising. So I think this becomes a little bit interesting based on what we were talking about with his last start. And Manny kind of wanting to get him out of there a little bit earlier, not get exposed to any more struggles. He had allowed 4 runs in that game. He's been through the order not quite 2 times. He'll face a couple more hitters and then it'll be 3rd time through. So I think it could be sitting on a very similar situation. When you say under normal circumstances you see the pitch count and everything else, but this has been a really positive outing for him, and I would guess that they'll probably try to keep it a little bit short. Trying to get some unsweetened black tea during the break because we're out of coffee. And saw a couple scouts sitting in the room. I said, this guy looks pretty good. What do you think? He said, oh man, the sink is unbelievable. It's got the build you're looking for. He said, feel like you've ever seen a pitch. I said, I didn't work his first start. I only saw a little bit on TV. He said, yeah, this guy's That looks pretty good. They seemed a little excited about what they have seen so far tonight. Those are guys that actually know what they're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
As opposed to you and I.
I like that. Although I will say it doesn't take a genius to figure out that he's pitching pretty well tonight. He's faced one over the minimum. And there's a strike called. Kind of Falefa goes down looking, so Will Harris gets his first hitter tonight. One away.
Let's get to our Southwest Airlines player breakdown. And why not? Let's make it a pitcher, because Ariel Jurado deserves it, as he's done a really nice job. A couple of strikeouts, but more importantly, keeping the ball on the ground. Did a nice job fielding his position. We've seen that a couple of times. You see some weak swings, guys late on pitches, the heaviness to the ground ball. There's the other strikeout. Marlon Gonzalez swinging over the top of that slider, keeping a really nice pace, filling up the strike zone. You love seeing that from a young pitcher. That certainly gets you excited. It's been a good 5 innings so far, and kick back and smile a little bit.
Let's see if your team can get you even a little more run support. Willie Calhoun, 1 out here in the 6th inning.
So of those 60 pitches, Jurado has thrown 80% fastballs. That is Bartolo Colon-esque. That is Bartolito.
Yeah, this thing's got some legs. Here's a hard ground ball, and that goes off the glove of Marwin Gonzalez. Calhoun just blasts that one right through the shift. His 2nd hit of the night. I assume that's a hit. I'm going to score that an error.
Yeah, I was going to say, it might be an error just because of the way that Gonzalez kind of waved at it a little bit. We'll see it right here. One hopper. Yeah, the effort. That didn't quite get in front of that ball and stuck his glove out. And that's probably why they ultimately called that error. And I can see that. They can't allow Isaiah to get. Or I'm sorry, that was Willie Calhoun. I was thinking Isaiah on his way to another 4-hit night.
No, it's still early. Well, 1 on here with 1 out. And Carlos Tocci looking for his first hit of the night. Meanwhile, the infield set up for a ground ball, looking for a double play. Let's see what.
Love to see a bunt here. Third baseman all the way back, but try to bunt for a hit.
Tocci takes a strike, 0-2.
Will Harris has been much better against righties this year, and that's kind of the other part of the equation. 197 batting average against those righties. Lefties have hit him pretty well at 312. So because he's tough on righties, because we're seeing Carlos Tocci hit a lot of ground balls, especially to the left side, the infield plays back. It's too late now with the 2 strikes, but love the idea of at one point taking a shot at a bunt base hit, but obviously not in an 0-2 count.
All right, comes up empty on strike 3. 2 strikeouts in the inning. I'll turn the lineup over. Hey, Saturday, August 4th, Rangers and Orioles will get together in the 7:05 game, and the first 15,000 fans will receive a Vladimir Guerrero Hall of Fame bobblehead, courtesy of Allstate. Tickets are available now online at TexasRangers.com or by phone 972-RANGERS. So a 2 away. Here is Chu. 0 for 3 so far. A strikeout, a ground out, and a pop out. For Chu, it's his 42nd consecutive start in the leadoff spot. He's taken that over, and there's no looking back. He's done such an incredible job getting on base. Worked beautifully for the Rangers and for Chu. You see the shift that the Astros employ against Chu. Certainly gives him some room on the off-field side, at least on the infield. Southwest Airlines bullpen live look. Joe Smith getting ready.
Oh,
this one right back. And Harris will knock it down, take care of it himself, and the inning is done. Rangers leave a man. Third error of the game by the Astros, but the Rangers can't do anything with it. They still lead 2-1.
Jack Daniels. Your friends at Jack Daniels remind you to drink responsibly.
A lot of fun so far tonight. Rangers leading it 2-1. So we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Ariel Urado been terrific tonight. 2 strikeouts. It's allowed 1 hit. It was a home run by George Springer. This ball lifted out to left field. Long run out there for Willie Calhoun, and he'll get it. Well, as it caroms off the fence. Stassi to second base with a double.
Take a look at the pitch here from Jurado, and you're going to see fastball stayed a little bit more elevated than he wanted to. I mentioned the idea of going in as Willie Calhoun misses that ball. One didn't seem to have as much life on it. Good finish that we've seen so far in the 2-seam fastball.
So the first actual, base runner of sorts. Line drive to first. And Guzman with a wingspan able to pull that one in, and Tucker is out 1 away. Condor getting up and using that reach.
It's been a couple of hard lineouts, but they've been right at Rangers, and see Guzman going up and getting that one very easily. So this will be a good test now for Jurado. 2 times through the lineup. And a very nice job. Here we go, 3rd time through, and of course he's got to face George Springer, who homered off of him in his last at bat, and that's where you start to get that anxiety a little bit and feeling in your stomach. That's where it gets a little bit tougher. This is certainly where the Astros become really difficult. Such a good lineup. Tough to hold them down multiple times through the order.
First pitch swinging, lofts it out to left field, and Calhoun well positioned, able to get to it. Springer retired, 2 away. So the drama didn't last too long in that spot. Well, and Kubota power stats. And this is where we make a little adjustment on the fly mid-game, because our power stats tonight are this young man, a 22-year-old right-hander making his 2nd start of his career. And that's a great looking line right there against the defending world champions.
And the fact that he has not walked a hitter pretty fantastic, and he's got some work to do. Talked about Alex Bregman, and he's got a great walk rate, a guy that gets on base, doesn't chase pitches out of the zone.
Bregman is grounded out and popped up to third.
It's kind of interesting. As good as he has been, he's actually struggled in these spots. Third time through the order. Facing the same pitcher. He's hitting just 178. First time through 290. Second time through 308. Third time through just a 178 batting average. The OPS drops almost 300 points for Alex Bregman. I'm not sure I could come up with a good reason why that would be, to be honest with you. He's so good at seeing the strike zone. Good discipline.
Now a 2-1 count here. Stassi out there at second base, and a bouncer third base goes foul. 2-2. So Jurado, in his 16 starts at Double-A Frisco, worked into the 8th inning 5 times. A guy who really has figured it out, it seems, this year. Two, and boy, did that one come close. Full count.
That's where the discipline really shows up for Bregman. That is a really good slider. Down and away, just misses. He does a nice job of laying off it, but that was good execution. Let's take a look at the pitch by inning there. Look at this right here. That's a pretty good slider. Love the two-seam fastball back in here. They're going to go away.
This one hit hard down the left field line. Foul. Oh, boy. Get the heart pumping a little bit.
Caught a break there. That's the one thing with Jurado, because he does throw many strikes, doesn't walk guys. And he's thinking in a 3-2 count, he probably doesn't want to mess with the edges too much. I'm going to take a chance after you've thrown that slider down and away to come back with the two-seam fastball, throw it down the middle, let it run in. I like that selection better than trying to go away over the middle of the plate.
His first full count of the night.
That one right there, that was a good pitch. And Bregman does a nice job of fouling it off. That's a lot tougher to get to for a right-handed hitter, especially when you're protecting with 2 strikes. Watch this two-seam fastball up and in, really well located. That same pitch, even bell tie is a pretty good one. What you don't want to do for me is just throw that slider for a strike. It's got to be a good one if you throw it. Maybe a changeup possibly, we'll see.
8th pitch of the at-bat, inside, and so they'll put Bregman on first and second base. And that's now the 29th straight game Bregman has reached base safely. He has the longest active streak in baseball. Here comes Doug Brocail.
And a good time to go out. And that was a changeup, by the way, that they threw in that full count, which is a good idea as well. Bregman hadn't seen one up to that point in this at-bat. A lot of fastballs and some sliders. So now they discuss what they're going to do here with Josh Reddick. Reddick has not had very good swings against Jurado tonight. Two-seam fastball, the changeup may have been very effective. If he locates his pitches here against the lefty, he'll be in good shape.
Well, the visit done. You saw a quick shot there, Jeff Bannister picking up the phone to the bullpen. The bullpen has been quiet. Bottom of the 6th inning, a 1-run game. Astros have 2 base runners. Stassi at second, Bregman at first. And the pitch to Reddick off the plate. Ball 1. Just now getting some bodies moving in that bullpen. Jose Leclerc loosening up. Can Jurado get himself to the finish line here with the 6th?
That's the one right there. That is a beautiful pitch right on the corner. Not a lot that Josh Reddick can do with that. Keep the two-seamer and the changeup out there. I mean, this is perfection as far as putting a ball on the corner. Some room to get it even down a little further. That's a tremendous 1-0 pitch.
He's going away consistently here on Reddick. Nothing even close to the center of the plate or in. The comebacker to ground out to second. 2-1. And this one lifted high in the air. Gonna hang up a little bit. Calhoun is there. Inning over. And so Hirado faces a little bit of trouble in the 6th inning, but works around it. He takes us to the 7th, with the Rangers leading by 1. Our 4-game summary, and it's been all about the home runs tonight. Kiner Falefa got the first one. What a big answer by Springer. But this was the interesting one. The inside the Parker by Rougned Odor in the 5th inning. That right now has the Rangers in front by a run. And there's the other big story tonight. Ariel Hirado, Doug Brocail. Giving him some congratulations. Got the team through 6 innings, and now to the 7th. Odor, who had the inside the Parker, will lead things off against Elvis Andrus, or rather then Elvis Andrus and Adrian Beltre. Ryan Presley, the new pitcher for the Astros, and new in every conceivable way.
Presley's got a good arm. We talked about this earlier, the great strikeout rate that he posted with the Minnesota Twins this year. 69 strikeouts to 19 walks in his 51 games. Saw that first fastball at 96 miles an hour. It's a live arm that he has. He throws a lot of 4-seam fastballs. There's a breaking ball. It's a slider. That actually might have been, I take that back, that might have been the curveball at 81. His slider averages around 90 miles per hour.
So Presley, a little bit off the mark here initially. Odor having a decent day. 3 for 3 with an inside the park homer. Counts as a decent day. He's continuing his hot ways, finding all kinds of ways to contribute offensively in the 3-0 pitch he's taking, and that one sails in there.
You see some natural cut on that 4-seam fastball from Presley. It is a very live arm that he has. He will throw a 2-seam fastball once in a while. Not a lot.
Odor chases one, maybe a little out the zone there. Full count. That's what we have not seen a lot of from Odor in the last couple of weeks. I don't see too many of those offers at pitches that are up out of the zone. And given the way things have gone lately, he's excused every once in a while. 3-2 pitch. Hits this ball well. Out to right field. Gone! Wow, Rougned Odor A 4-for-4 night with his second home run. And that's a big insurance run for the Rangers.
A big one for Rugi, and unfortunately for Ryan Pressly, not the way that he wanted to kick off his Astros career, but he put himself in that 3-2 count, tried to go to the slider, and Odor was all over it. He chased the fastball up out of the zone on the 3-1 count. 3-2. Pressly thought he could just kind of flip that one in there. It's a 90-mile-an-hour slider, and Odor was ready for it. Now the matchup that you've been waiting for.
Yes.
What? It's over already?
Elvis Presley, and on the first pitch, those two conspired to make that a short one. A pop up into center, one away.
Are you kidding me? Not getting a chance to build it up or nothing. And this is the last series, so Elvis probably not going to see Ryan Pressly again tonight. We can hope for the Elvis Presley matchup tomorrow.
3-1, Rangers lead, and here is Beltre, and he takes outside of no. By the way, good news today. Congratulations due to the Texas Rangers Youth Academy junior team in the RBI Championships or Southwest Regionals. They scored 4 runs in the final frame today. That earned them a tie, a 7-7 tie with the Houston Astros RBI team. And in doing so, now they are advancing to the championship game of the RBI Southwest Regionals in Austin. So kind of cool. They will match up same 2 teams at Dell Diamond at Round Rock tomorrow. It's an 8:30 a.m. game. And the winner will go to the RBI World Series in August. So some fun stuff. Congratulations to the Rangers Youth Academy Junior Division team. 2-1 pitch. It's 2-2 on Beltran.
That is a hard slider at 91 miles an hour, and also a sharp curveball. You can see why the strikeouts are up this year for Pressly.
What a big glove. Seems like he's wearing his big brother's glove or something. There's a swing and a miss. Beltre strikes out, 2 away. Hey, Sunday, August 5th, Rangers-Orioles, 2:05 the first pitch. And, more importantly, the first 15,000 fans are going to get a Ted Williams First Rangers manager bobblehead, courtesy of Sweet Baby Rays. And you can get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS. Check out this mitt.
If it's bigger, it just looks big because he might fan it.
Oh, bouncer down to first base. Easy play for Gurriel. And that ends the inning. But the Rangers extend the lead. Odor with another home run. This one a little more conventional over the fence. We go to the bottom of the 7th as they stretch. The 7th inning in our Who's In, Who's Out pitching change, sponsored by In-N-Out Burger. Well, Jose Leclerc is in for the Rangers. And the guy who was out, how about that kid right there, 22 years old, Ariel Irado. Excellent outing in his second big league start.
He looked really good. I was impressed with what I saw. The two-seam fastball, the usage of the slider at the right time, broke out the changeup once in a while. Anytime you hold this Houston Astros lineup down to just one run over 6 innings, you know you've done something pretty well. And just 2 hits on top of it, and not afraid of contact, going right at those guys. All encouraging signs of what you want to see from a young pitcher.
Meanwhile, Leclerc's first pitch popped up, foul ground, and Kiner Falefa from out behind home plate makes the play.
It's time for Built for Baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. And for this evening, Ariel Irado was built for baseball. What a night for him. A really nice job. You saw this leadoff double, and the way that he got out of this line drive here, then he ends up jamming George Springer and just going at each and every one of these guys and inducing some pretty weak contact in a big spot after having a couple of runners on with just a 1-run lead, as he has a conversation there with Jeff Bannister, who I am sure is thrilled with what he saw from his young starter tonight. And also probably thrilled that Jose Leclerc did not try to catch that pop-up, because he looked like he was making his way over there. It was one of those ones that was kind of in between, the little triangle there between your pitcher, catcher, and first baseman. He was making his way over just in case somebody didn't call it. And that was a nice play by Isaiah Kiner Falefa.
One and one the count to Evan Gattis.
There's the numbers for Leclerc this year. Game number 39. He has been excellent. See that whip at 1.04. You love seeing that. And there's even room for that to come down as he continues to work on eliminating those walks.
Well, a comebacker, and Leclerc's throw bothered at first base. Guzman with a great stretch, but couldn't quite hold on to it. Evan Gattis aboard with 1 out here in the 7th inning.
That was a nice play by Jose Leclerc. A lot of times you see pitchers miss this ball to begin with, and probably the mistake that he made was not getting up. He had enough time to get up here with Evan Gattis running, but he decided to throw it from his knees. That's certainly something you just don't see pitchers do very often, and probably not comfortable. And Guzman, who's so good at scooping and picking balls over there at first base, could not handle that one. Hit.
Yeah, that's a interesting scoring decision right there.
Call that a hometown call.
Now Leclerc off the plate for a ball to Marwin Gonzalez. 0 for 2 so far tonight. Former Rangers killer last year anyway. Gonzalez a little less of a factor in the Silver Boot Series so far this year. And that little bouncer could be 2. And it is 2. A 6 unassisted, a 3 double play. And just like that, Leclerc out of the inning. So the 8th inning coming with the Rangers leading it 3-1. And now in the 8th inning, Ronald Guzman looking to get that first hit of the night. Get off the schneid a little bit. Tough one so far, 0 for 3 with 3 strikeouts. And he's going to get a look at a new pitcher. Tony Sipp has come on for Houston.
It's been a good year for the left-hander. 30 games for him on the season. Wonderful ERA, 1.75. Great strikeout to walk ratio, and really what they want Tony Sipp to do is to keep left-handed hitters down, and he has done that. Just a 122 batting average against. He's also been good with runners and inherited runners, excuse me. Just 4 of 18 have scored. Obviously none here as he gets a clean inning against the Rangers in the 8th.
Guzman for the year at 240. He's done some pretty good work this year against Houston. Made his debut here back in April. And it's 1-1. Houston, a team that loves to shift. And they will try some of the more unconventional things out in the game, but you can see they played Guzman borderline straight up. Had a little trouble figuring him out so far.
And that makes sense. As much as he uses the entire field, we've seen him do this a lot where he'll shorten up, go to left, and kind of unpredictable in that regard, which makes it very difficult to figure out exactly how often, when, and where you want to shift him.
This one high in the air, back of third base, and Davis puts it away. Guzzi with that big smile on his face as he heads back into the dugout despite a tough night at the plate. And now Isaiah Kiner-Falefa.
Well, no matter what, he walks away a winner.
Oh, right. No, he's playing with house money all night, right?
Yeah. Anytime you can beat Orbit in a dance-off pregame, your night ends as a winner.
Sipp buries one to Kiner-Falefa, who was homered, singled, and struck out looking. Having some audio technical difficulties at the moment. We apologize for that. Working on it to get it straightened out as quickly as we can. The 1-0 fouled away. 1-1 on Kiner-Falefa, who is now 6 for 8 in this series. What a big crowd tonight. Just looking around, they're packed up into the rafters. At 42,000 plus here yesterday. We'll be in a similar range again tonight.
Much to your dismay, the wave is making its way around.
Withhold comment. Jake Diekman warming up in the Rangers bullpen. 43,093 our attendance tonight. So another sellout, 10th of the year here. This one lined out to right field. Coming on is Reddick. What a play. And he just robbed Isaiah Kiner-Falefa of a base hit or more.
Isaiah standing at first base and kind of hoping that maybe this would be something that'll be reviewed by the Rangers, but it did appear that Josh Reddick was able to pull this in. Good piece of hitting, first of all, by Isaiah, but a tremendous play by Reddick, who is such a good right fielder. He certainly caught that one clean. Nice play.
Yeah, he got a great read off the bat. Really quick reaction on that. Enabled him to make the play. So 2 down. Bases are empty for Willie Calhoun. And he takes one low.
See Isaiah kind of all business. I am not a big fan of when a play like that happens, the guy that made an out then tips his cap to the player. I understand it's maybe a nice gesture, but he just robbed you of a hit. I don't love it. I'd be mad. I might tell you tomorrow. Hey, nice catch. That was nice.
But I mean, it's not like you did anything wrong. You put the ball in
Nope.
play hard. You did your job right. Sometimes the other guy,
Yeah.
you know, it's a good play too. It's not worth acknowledging.
We say it kind of figuratively. Yeah, tip your cap to that guy. I don't actually like literally doing it.
Well, this one hammered out to right field, and Reddick can't get to that one. Bounces up against the fence, and Calhoun will turn it first with a 2-out single.
Smart decision by Willie not to think about going for 2, even though there's 2 outs. Josh Reddick is so good at this. He gets rid of the ball so quickly, and really nice swing here by Willie Calhoun as he laces this ball into right field. And he hit it almost too hard. You're going to watch this ball take just one bounce and hit the wall, and Reddick gets it in pretty quickly.
Well, Calhoun lifted for a pinch runner. And apparently the rule is you have to find the guy who has the exact same hairdo. So Delino will run for Calhoun. Delino just recalled today. And so Tochi stands in and he takes one below the zone for a ball. There's Delino. I think that's real sure.
It's a good rule. It would make it really difficult to pinch run.
Little limited.
Or it would really build up some team chemistry because more guys would try to have the same hairdo.
Thank you. Way to turn that the right way. I love it. Love where your head's at. Although, well, if we get the vote on which hairdo,
That's where the challenge would really happen. Delino, by the way, did play in 3 games. Down around Rock. 12 at bats, had a couple of hits.
Tochi lofts this one out to short right field. A routine play for Reddick. So the inning is done. Rangers do get a hit, but leave him out there to the last of the 8th inning now. The Rangers holding on to a 3-1 lead. A lot of the numbers lopsided the Rangers' way, but still just a 2-run game. Hey, manage your dream team in franchise mode. Get weekly stats, roster updates, and more with RBI Baseball 18. Now available at RBIGame.com. It's rated E for everyone. That is a very cool shot right there as we bring you inside now. Bottom of the 8th inning, and Jake Diekman takes over on the mound.
So I thought this was kind of interesting as far as watching what the Rangers were going to do in this spot with Delino DeShields and his new haircut, by the way, coming on and pinch running. Well, he's actually going to go to center field as they move the lineup around. Tochi into right. and Joey Gallo into left. I wasn't sure, you know, as much as we've heard about Tochi getting those opportunities in center field. I thought this was kind of an interesting part of the game as far as how Jeff Bannister was going to handle it. And Jake Diekman comes on and gets the bottom of the order here against the Astros.
First pitch, a fastball off the plate. Diekman, of course, has been rumored to be connected with a number of teams here at the trade deadline. And a swing and a miss at 97 miles per hour. So you see that good velocity.
He has it. It's average 94, but lately it's been even better than that. We have seen Jake sitting 95 to 98. And the slider has been absolutely devastating this year.
There's a swing and a miss again, 97 miles per hour. So 1-2 the count on J.D. Davis. Davis batting 7th tonight for Houston. 0 for 2 so far. The Astros have only 3 hits tonight. One of them a dubious one at that. 2-2. Yesterday, the Rangers took the opener 11-2. Scored 11 runs on 15 hits. Held the Astros to 2 runs on 6 hits.
Here's that slider from Diekman. He's got 22 strikeouts on that pitch this year. His other 22 have come on the fastball, so split right down the middle. Batting average a little bit lower on that slider at 210. Last year was at 237. Excuse me, the four-seamer was at 237. Last year, in limited action, he did not allow a single hit on a slider.
That one just missed. Full count. Davis waits at that right side. The 3-2 pitch, a swing and a miss. It just blazed that one by him at 97. One away.
We really have seen the better version of Jake Diekman here as of late, and you see that fastball and the giddy up on it and the carry right through the top of the strike zone. And for Davis, just no chance to get to it as he swung well under that fastball.
So 1 away, and Max Stassi fouls off strike 1. Bouncer third base. That one just wide of the bag foul. 0-2. Adrian making a friend in the stands. He has a lot of them.
Did we talk about the Eduardo Escobar goodbye tweet last night?
We did not.
Oh
no.
my goodness, this is the greatest thing that'll ever happen on Twitter, because I just saw another one from Asdrubal Cabrera, who was traded. A lot of guys want to thank their fans and say goodbye and everything else, and it's really cool. If you haven't seen it, go check out what Eduardo Escobar did. It was awesome. Very nice, sincere message to the fans, to his coaches, teammates across the board. But the picture that he posted was something special. I hesitate to describe it because I'm not going to do it justice. But it's him, it's target field, with him, I don't know, the same size as the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man from Ghostbusters. I mean, just a huge picture of him and a rainbow going over his head.
Arms extended.
Yeah, it was so fantastic. Worth your time. Check it out. Eduardo Escobar's goodbye tweet to Minnesota Twins fans. Blue tuxedo. It was awesome.
Well, Diekman and Kenner Falefa come to terms, and now the 2-2. Stassi lines this one out to left field. Gallo out there to track it down. 2 away. Hey, Sunday, August 5th, Rangers and Orioles, a 2:05 game. And country music group Lone Star is going to perform a post-game concert presented by Budweiser. Your tickets are available at texasrangers.com/concerts. I want to check that one out. Now Diekman now to face the 9th place hitter, Kyle Tucker, who's 0 for 2. Just misses the outside corner.
The situation that the Astros are in right now, they don't really have a viable pinch hit option from the right side. Jose Altuve, obviously, still not back in the lineup, but active now on the DL. The only other righty they have is Martin Maldonado, their backup catcher. And we did see him pinch hit yesterday. And I don't think he would hit for Reddick, third. Now, this would be the one spot that maybe you would use him. I don't know if it's because it's 2 outs and nobody on that A.J. Hinch prefer not to. Tucker's only got 5 at-bats against lefties. He is, though, 2 for 5 in those spots.
He's ahead 3-0 here. Diekman pretty crisp against J.D. Davis. Got Stassi to fly out. And finds the inside corner for a strike. Pitched really well the other day, Thursday, at home against Oakland. And a couple of strikeouts in a perfect inning. And fights back here against Tucker. 3-2. 2 out, nobody on. That one is a called 3rd strike. Outside corner, and the inning is done. So Diekman with a 1-2-3, 8th inning. And a couple of strikeouts to boot. Rangers take a 2-run lead to the 9th.
West Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. By Ford. Visit your local Texas Ford dealer during the Ford Summer Sales Event. Ford is the best in Texas. And by Shiner Light Blonde. It's light done right.
3-1 our score, 9th inning. Hey, Wednesday, August 8th, the next Texas Chili Company $1 Hot Dog Day. Rangers and Mariners in a 1:05 game. And you can get your tickets at texasrangers.com or 972 Rangers. Get those tickets, hot dogs going fast, as you can see. 9th inning with the Rangers up by 2. Boy, look at them. I want one.
It's doing pretty good.
I'll take one. Those do look really good.
Even if you ate them that fast, you still wouldn't win the hot dog eating contest.
Chu leading things off here in the 9th. Chu, Odor, and then Elvis Andrus. Hector Rondon out of the 9th inning, so They bring in their closer here down by 2.
And I think the idea here is probably just to get some work. He hasn't pitched in 4 days, and the idea of a 4th off day, not ideal for your closer. You always take that chance a little bit. Hector Rondon has been excellent here for the Rangers. Game number 4, excuse me, for the Astros, game number 40. Great ERA across the board. Numbers have been fantastic, and you see a 97-mile-an-hour fastball right there. And not surprising, he has been averaging right around 97 miles an hour with that heater.
Puts that one on the corner for a strike. 3-1 to Chu. So far tonight, 0 for 4. Had decent numbers against Rondon in the past. 3 for 8 against him. And he's swinging, rolls this one to the traditional second base stop. Alex Bregman, the shortstop, is there, 1 away.
So we get ready to watch Rougned Odor hit. Take a look at what he has done this evening. It has been a fun day. He thought he got that one. I want you to notice the distance, 402 feet on what turned out to be an inside the park home run. Now this one, he could take his time, but only 381 feet. Hard to believe that the inside the park home run actually went 21 feet further than the over the fence home run. I believe those estimates. Those are pretty close. I mean, you look at this ballpark, it's a deep part that he hit it. And my goodness, Rougned Odor is on fire.
A 5 for 5 night. That one to the power alley. He's going to try for 2, and he is in there. Odor with a double. 5 for 5 tonight with a couple of bombs, a double, and 2 singles.
I mean, this has just been fantastic to watch the work that Odor has done. Fastball middle away, goes out and absolutely drills this thing to right center field, and a good read. He's going hard the entire time, and even though Josh Reddick is such a great defender, Rookie had a really good feel, felt like he could get there, and he did. And he is playing the game so unbelievably hard, and it's just been such a great example for a guy that has gotten off to a slow start, trying to make adjustments. He even talked about him in spring training, and the difference is that, you know, the changes he was trying to make from 2017, and it really is all coming together for Odor.
First career 5-hit game for Odor. Now 15 doubles for the season. Great hustle.
I mean, is that a case of the inside the park home run kind of ruining a cool night?
No. Ground ball through to the right side. Odor will stop at third, and the throw comes through, and Andrus goes to second base. Great base running by Elvis Andrus. Rangers taking advantage of slightly sloppy fundamentals.
Yeah, it's a lack of focus. That is a mental error for Josh Reddick. There's no way that Rugi is going to try to score on this, but Josh Reddick saw it as an opportunity, not that he's trying to show off his arm, but just to make a strong throw. And maybe he thought Odor was going to go, but he misses his cutoff man, and that's a great read by Elvis Andrus. And that's why when you do something like hit a sure base hit, you just don't start pulling up in that spot. Elvis was running hard the entire way, watched the throw, and as soon as he realized that it was not going to hit the cutoff man, he took off for second immediately. We love seeing that kind of play from this club. Even though the year hasn't gone the way they've wanted it to, they're still playing really hard. Get a look at it right here. This is Odor. Out of the box, running hard. Perfect read, understands the timing. Listen, it's easy to pull up there in that spot and just think about your base hit.
Infield in here against Adrian Beltre. Well, that allows Andrus to take a really big lead out there at second base. Sneak one through here, probably pick up a couple of runs.
So now that we've seen how this evening is unfolded, you say no, Rookie should not have pulled up on the inside the park home run.
No way. You gotta take the inside the Parker.
I agree.
Tapper towards short. Here comes Odor. The throw, not in time. Andrus gets to third. Beltre drives in a run, and the Rangers lead by 3. These fans, they love it.
Rougned Odor just put on a clinic as far as running the bases, and he really has the entire night. It was fantastic. This is a case Alex Bregman was a very good defender, has made some very good throws over the course of his career, and this one was really close. I'm not saying you necessarily want to take the out, because the idea of the Rangers getting that fourth run across the board certainly changes some things in how you approach this game as we're in now the 9th inning.
Yeah, that's a big run.
It was a good attempt. You know, it's easy to say should have thrown it to first and taken the out, but it's a good aggressive play on both sides.
Right now, Odor's making all of it happen. Really running the bases well in addition to the great hitting. So, runners on the corners. Beltre on via the fielder's choice. Gets the RBI. And now Gallo, who is 0 for 3 with a walk. And he takes a fastball a little bit low for a ball.
It really is amazing. We talk about it a lot. Closers in non-save situations and the struggles that they seem to have. And that's Hector Rondon right now.
Rondon took over that closer role about a month ago from Ken Giles. Giles fairly recently sent down to Fresno after he had a little bit of a blow up with his manager being removed from a game. Now AJ Hinch very comfortable with Rondon being his closer. In fact, prior to the blow up by Giles, he had more or less emerged as the man. Shared it for a little while, but now has made things very clear in the bullpen what the roles are. Meanwhile, Gallo here continues to have good at bats and in a favorable count, 2-0. And he hammers this ball deep to center field. Gone! A no-doubter by Joey Gallo, and that's number 26 on the year. The Rangers have just opened up a can of whoop here in Houston.
So interesting, right? We talk about Joey Gallo and his home runs and how high they get. This was a line shot. And Joey Gallo just got about, I don't know, 8,000 to 10,000 people to get up and start walking out of this ballpark as he hammers this ball against Hector Rondon. He knew it right away. This one got out of here in a hurry over the Astros bullpen.
Uh-oh. You can hear him. Rangers fans gaining a little momentum here tonight. 7-1, and Guzman will chopper over the mound. Marlon Gonzalez going across his body. Gets Guzman for the second out of the inning. Well, 11-2 yesterday. 7-1 tonight. That guy's had maybe the night of his life. Odor 5 for 5 tonight with a couple of home runs, a double. A lot of guys chipping in tonight, including this fella. Kiner Falefa with a home run back in the second inning, and that was the only run the Rangers had until the 5th. In fact, for Kiner Falefa, 3 of his career 4 home runs have been in this ballpark. Austin Bibbins-Dirks warming in the bullpen. He will have the opportunity in the bottom of the 9th inning. And the Rangers up by 6 at the moment. This one on the ground, second base. Gonzalez to a knee. He'll throw out Kiner Falefa. The inning is over, but the Rangers add 4 more runs. Couple of big moments. Odor picks up his 5th hit of the game. He scores on a fielder's choice, but then Gallo caps it with a majestic home run to center field. And the Rangers up by 6. as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Now the top of the order coming for the Houston Astros: Springer, Bregman, Reddick, and Austin Bivens-Dirks, the guy who gets the call here in the 9th inning.
So the right-hander will get an opportunity to close things out here with the Rangers leading it by 6. We saw Kela up earlier, but once the Rangers put the 4 runs on the board, Jeff Bannister decided to go to ABD, and Austin Bivens-Dirks this year. Take a look at the arsenal for him, and it's a full one. Of course, we know we've seen him in the rotation as well, so it's fastball, slider, changeup, curveball, and the 2-seam fastball. That's sinker, and really outside of the 4-seam fastball, everything else used pretty evenly across the board for ABD.
So Springer, his first opponent, and he will watch strike 1. Springer homered in the 4th inning. That's the only run tonight for Houston. Houston has scored 3 runs on 9 hits in this series. Rangers have scored 18 runs on 29 hits so far in the series. Bouncer up the middle, and Springer is on. Tomorrow we'll wrap up this 3-game series with a little afternoon tilt. Pregame will begin at 12:30 here on Fox Sports Southwest. Our Ford probables: Mike Minor, pretty good ERA after the All-Star break in his career. He'll have the ball for the Rangers. Lance McCullers Jr., last 6 home games, he's been very good for Houston. And so that will set up the finale, not just to the series, but the season series between these two teams. Bregman pulls the first pitch foul for a strike. Well, it was a frustrating series at home against Oakland. The Rangers hit the road, and they have taken out some of those frustrations on their in-state rivals. This one bounces away from Kiner Falefa all the way to the backstop, and Springer will head to second base. Wild pitch. And Kiner Falefa out there to have a quick chat with Bivens-Dirks. All the hyphens. So 1-1. Bregman 0 for 2 with a walk. He takes low. A lot going on in this one tonight. Notable achievements and efforts. Ariel Irado hoping for his first big league victory if Bivens-Dirks can finish it off. 3-1 the count, and already conversation for the bullpen. And Doug Rocale checking in down there.
Well, 7 of the 8 runs tonight have been scored via the home run, including that inside the park home run.
Oh, this ball golf high in the air down the left field line. Could be trouble. It is gone. 22nd home run of the year. That makes it a 7-3 ball game.
The situation that Austin Bivens-Dirks is in is that you want to throw strikes, you don't want to walk guys, and you got to come at Alex Bregman in that spot. He's able to get under that one and get it out of here pretty easily.
So now Reddick. And that one way off the plate. Yoni Kela, you got to loosen up. It may not be long for that bullpen. He may be in this thing here in a hurry. Now he had been loosening last half inning, so Ostensibly, it wouldn't take long for him to get set. Reddick is hitless in 3 tries. And the 1-0 from Bibbins-Dirks. Just missed. Well, it was a 3-1 game going into this inning. Rangers scored 4 huge runs at the top of the 9th. Wow, aren't those important now? They're the difference in the game. Reddick pops this one up back of home plate. Over on that third base side, Beltre. They're going to give way. That one comes all the way back. No, it hit in the rafters in foul ground. That's a dead ball. That'll be a foul ball. If it hits in the rafters in foul territory, then it's a dead ball. If it's in fair territory, then you can play it.
I wonder if that was going to come back at all, though. I mean, it's really hard to tell off the bat. It's unfortunate. Those are the ground rules here. You really can't see a lot. But watch Adrian. He'll give you an idea of whether or not this is going to be in play. Watch Isaiah kind of Falefa, and then all of a sudden that's when it hit the rafters. I don't know. It would have been close. It would have been really close. Good job by ABD, by the way, to catch that.
2-2. The count on Reddick. I saw them heading over toward the dugout. I'm thinking it's going to be. The question is, would it stay in? Next thing you know, they're catching that ball in their territory.
It's not very windy in here.
Not that windy. Here's the 2-2. It's all full count now. One of our heroes tonight, Miguel Dorado.
I think he's a little nervous.
I mean, a little bit, right? He's got to be.
Trying to hang on for that first W, absolutely.
Six innings, 1 run on 2 hits for him. Excellent job. 3-2. And this ball hit out to right field. Tochi ranging over. And he's got it. 1 away. Now, the more we see Tochi in the outfield, the more you kind of like watching that defense.
Yeah, he covers some good ground. He's pretty smooth out there. Not sure what that sign is. Starting his motorcycle?
That might have been it.
Short arming it? I don't know.
Now here's Gurriel. He takes ball 1. Gurriel also 0 for 3 so far tonight. Average below 300 for him. Very good hitter. And he takes a strike, 1-1. Leclerc and Diekman both excellent in the 7th and 8th innings in relief of Dorado. And now Austin Bibbins-Dirks is 1-1. A little tapper foul. Justin Verlander had the start for Houston, and he only went 5, allowed 2 runs on 9 hits. The Rangers just wore him down. Long at bat after long at bat.
I wasn't sure if I was losing my mind or what was going on here. In left field, is that they make their own clouds here? Or?
Got a weather situation brewing.
Oh, what's going on? Is that from fireworks? They don't have any fireworks in here, did they?
Yeah, the home run.
Oh, that just sits there. Just to give you an idea what the wind's doing here. Nothing.
Down in the dirt. Yeah, you don't.
We're just going to start raining right over Joey Gallo.
It's a pretty cool little feature if you can manufacture that all the time.
I'm just glad that everyone else sees it, to be quite honest. I wasn't sure it was just my brain. No. I was like, uh-oh.
Here's the payoff. And a swing and a miss. Gurriel strikes out, 2 away.
Good job here by ABD, painting the fastball down and away, and Gurriel's such a good dead, I'd say dead pull, but he's a pull hitter. If you can locate down and away, it's a really good spot to him. And for Dorado, now a second big exhale, and one more to go.
Well, with 2 out, here's Evan Gattis. His single in the 7th inning. An interesting one. A comebacker to the mound. Thought it might have been scored an error. This should do it. Ground ball to Elvis Andrus. And that will do it. Rangers have taken the first 2 of this series. And Ariel Arado, his first career win. Great effort by the 22-year-old right-hander. And that effort not to be outdone. The 5-hit game by Rougned Odor, the first by a Ranger since May of 2013.
Great night for the Rangers, and especially, as we mentioned, Rougned